A story of two goddesses, Athena and Durga. On Mount Olympus in ancient Greece, the great goddess Athena went to sit in her garden of flowers one day. And in her garden she decided to listen to the prayers of the people that were carried to her by the wind. She listened to the prayers from the north, and she heard prayers of horses and war and battle. She listened to the prayers from the west, and heard prayers of crops and weather. She listened to the prayers from the south, and heard prayers of love and prayers of sorrow. When she listened to the prayers of the east in her garden, she heard from these prayers one name repeated over and over again. It was the name Durga. Durga, 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 she heard from these prayers over and over again. And she thought to herself, sitting in her garden, who is this Durga? Why does she get so many prayers? I will go to the east and I will find out who this Durga is. And she mounted the back of her great owl, and she flew and flew all day and night. She flew over the isles of the Aegean Sea, little rocks in the sapphire glittering sea. She flew over the peninsula where the poor city of Troy had been destroyed. She flew over the immense Persian Empire that had twice been turned away by the soldiers of the city named after her, Athens. She flew over Afghanistan, a country that in several thousand years would have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches dropped all over its countryside by another far greater invading country that had little business being there. She flew over the crumbling ruins of the Mohenjo-Daro, the early Indus Valley civilization. And then she came to rest on the banks of the holy river, the Ganges. And there on the banks of the Ganges, she heard the prayers being chanted by the sadhus, the holy men who would smear their bodies with the mud of the banks of the Ganges, or wear saffron robes, and wear their hair in long dreadlocks, and smear their foreheads with sandalwood paste, or dots of kumkum. And she strode up to these holy men, and she said, "You, bedraggled and scraggly worshippers, who is this Durga that you so honor with her name over and over again, that even I can hear it on the holy mountain of Olympus?" And the sadhus turned to Athena, and because the sadhus had spent so much time in worshipping the goddess, they recognized the divinity of Athena, and they bowed to her in a solemn pranam, and said, "O sacred one, O goddess from the west, we sing the name of your sister, Durga. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah." And Athena said, "What about this Durga deserves such praise when you might be singing about Hermes, the god who is the secret of spiritual attainment, or Zeus, my father, who is the greatest of all the gods, or, dare I say me, the goddess of wisdom, military prowess, and of weaving?" Athena was very proud, and she wanted to show these sadhus in their muddy river what they could be gaining by worshipping her. But the sadhus said, "Great goddess Athena, you are unaware of the true nature of Durga." And Athena said, "Well then, proud holy men, tell me of this Durga." And they told Athena the story of Durga, of how she had defeated the demon Mahisha, who had kicked out the gods from heaven, kicked them out of their golden palaces, and brought them low, and how the gods in their piteous state had appealed to the great universal mother, the great goddess, who then formed herself a body of light, coalescing into Durga, with 27 arms, each holding a weapon of the gods given to her by each god, except for one that held the cup, the golden cup of Amrit, the nectar of immortality, given to her by Kubera, the god of wealth. And the cup was that from which the gods all drank the nectar of immortality to remain immortal. And how Durga had sipped from this cup the moment before she somersaulted through the air off of her tiger, landing on the back of the great demon Mahisha, who then tried to escape the skin of a giant buffalo he was using to attack her. And in the middle of escaping out the mouth of the buffalo, she had jammed Shiva's trident down on its neck and snicked off Mahisha's head with Kartikeya's sword. This fierce Durga. And Athena said, "Well, I've done all that. I'm a goddess of military prowess. You should have seen what I and my soldiers did at Troy. I hid them inside a horse, and the horse was a trick, and they sprang out and slaughtered an entire city. Clever, eh? So who is this Durga that is better than I?" And the sadhus told the story of how Durga, only one form of the universal mother, gave succor to those who worshipped her, protected them from evil, and, with her fierce weapons, removed their ignorance so that they might see the truth. Athena said, "What truth? What is this truth that your Durga reveals? Show me this truth. Better, bring Durga to me. Let me meet this Durga and find this truth. I am the goddess of wisdom. If there's a truth that I do not know, I should like to see it." And so the holy men chanted for 4 days and 5 nights. They chanted the name Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. And at night on the 5th day, there was a shimmer of green light that came from the candles that had been waved before the altar to Durga. And that light grew and grew, bigger and bigger, and then coalesced in front of the altar into the form of Durga. And she was clad in an emerald green sari. And in each of her 26 of her 27 arms, she held one of the weapons of the gods. And in the 27th arm, she held the cup of Amrit, given to her by Kubera. And Durga strode forth, and she looked at Athena, and assessed her divinity. And Athena looked at Durga, and beheld a gleam in her eye. And Athena said, "Are you Durga?" And Durga replied, "Are you Athena?" The two goddesses stood staring into each other's eyes, trying to plumb the depths of each other. And Athena eventually spoke, saying, I am the goddess of wisdom. I have sprung from Zeus's head, the greatest of gods, Zeus, from his very head. I am therefore the goddess of wisdom. I am told by your worshippers that there is some truth that is well worth all of your weaponry. What is this truth? And Durga understood immediately what Athena was asking. And she remembered a story that she had heard about proud Athena. The story of Arachne. You see, Athena was also the goddess of weaving, because everyone needs a hobby. And Arachne was a queen in Greece who was very proud of her abilities on the loom. And she had bragged to all her friends how she was the best there was at weaving. And Athena had then appeared before her and challenged her to a weave-off. And they wove, and each were sublime. But when it was supposed that Arachne's weaving was so divine, Athena simply turned her into a spider. Durga remembered this story, and she said to Athena, "My weapons are merely a reminder to my devotees that if they call to me, that they focus on me, that they find me in the most hidden of places, that I will take away all of the constraints of their heart and mind, the constraints that keep them from understanding the truth, the constraints that they themselves have built. That is why I carry these weapons." And Athena said, "What, Goddess Durga, is this truth? Can you show it to me? Is it found in battle? Is it found at the loom? How is it that my wisdom has not perceived this truth?" And Athena said, "O goddess, with your great wisdom, I have no doubt this truth will become evident immediately." And Athena said, "Show me where this truth is. I wish to know it." And Durga said, "You are proud, but you are sincere. And because you are sincere, I am happy to show you this truth. This truth is right here." Shh. Athena said, "This truth is in shh. Whatever do you mean? What is meant by shh?" And Durga said, "It means, O goddess, that you must do something that you have never done. With your bold spear and your shining shield and your glimmering helmet, shh is asking you to forget all of these and to sit with me quietly and let your eyes see what cannot be seen with your eyes, and let yourself hear what cannot be heard with your ears, and let yourself taste, smell, and feel what cannot be tasted with the tongue, smelled with the nose, or felt with the hands. It means, dear Athena, sit with me in peace and listen to your own inside. That is where you will find my truth." And Athena was intrigued. And so they sat underneath a mango tree, and they closed their eyes. And the great goddess Athena said nothing. And the great goddess Athena did nothing. And the great goddess Athena was silent. And instead, she turned her entire attention inside her own self. And there she heard a hymn that was the chanted name, chanted over and over again. Durga, Durga, Om, Durga. Athena opened her eyes and she said, "Well, I don't know if I've heard any truth, but I've heard your name inside of my own heart chanted over and over. What does this mean? Do you mean to tell me you are the truth? What wisdom is that? That seems like a trick." And Durga said to Athena, "You have heard my name in your heart. Now, Durga, use your divine wisdom and your powers of perception and listen to my heart while I meditate on its interior." And Athena closed her eyes and reached out with the divine power of her awareness while Durga sat quietly and meditated upon her own heart. And Athena heard the hymn that was repeated in Durga's heart. And the hymn was Athene, 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 which is the name of Athena in her own language of Greek. And Athena said, "You are in my heart, I am in your heart. What does this mean?" And Durga said, "O goddess Athena, it is a sampling of the fact, the truth, that we are one and the same, that all is us and we are all." And Athena said, "Wait. I could maybe understand because we are both goddesses who wield weapons and we are strong and fierce and wise. I could understand in some metaphysical synchronicity that we might have an association and hear each other. But what do you mean that we are all and all is us?" And Durga said, "Athena, I want you now to sit with me and listen both to my heart and to your heart and to the hearts of all the world. Listen to the grasshoppers in the grass. Listen to the birds in the sky. Listen to the rocks by the seashore. Listen to the fish in the deep ocean. Listen to the wind. Listen to the dust. Listen to the crowns on the king's heads. Listen to the beggars dying of consumption. Listen to it all." And they closed their eyes once again. And Athena listened. And Durga focused. And Athena focused. And inside her heart, Athena listened to all the hearts of the world. And in every single heart, she heard the same prayer. And it seemed to say, at the same time, the name Athene, Athena, and the name Durga, Durga, both at the same time. Now, I can't chant this for you, because the human mouth cannot produce two words at the same time. That is why I'm telling you, this miracle occurred within their own consciousnesses, as they listened to the hearts of all, and heard both of their names repeated in each beat of each heart, repeated at the same time. Athene, Durga, Athene, Durga, Athene, Durga, but at the very same time. They stayed this way for 3 weeks, absorbed in the voices of the world, coming from the hearts of all things, and imbibing the divinity of their own name as understood by the consciousnesses of all, who experience bliss and profound energy of life in their core of their own hearts. And when it was done, they stood up and they gazed once again into each other's eyes. And Athena bowed to Durga, and Durga bowed to Athena. And without a word, but understanding each other perfectly, they both mounted the back of Athena's great owl, and they flew off to the woods of northern Kazakhstan, where they rested and feasted, and they danced sacred goddess dances that involve movements that I cannot possibly describe on a public venue where there may be children. But before they left to go back to their respective temples, the goddesses wrote this secret on the bark of a tree, on the inside of the bark, without even touching the tree, because this is what goddesses can do. And the message that they wrote was this: if you would seek the truth that is known by the goddesses of wisdom in two lands, then you, like this message, must turn inside, because that is where it is hidden. And this secret is being told by me, a bedraggled little queer shamany nun, to you, so that you may go and find the secret in your own heart.